aircraft weights. It looks like a Q400 is about somewhere around about 30,000, 30
I must be thinking
kg.
of the old Dash 8s, I apologise.
Sorry?
I must have been thinking about the old
Is it
Dash 8s.
Yeah,
I apologise.
there's a 200 series as well, so it has fewer passengers. And mind you, my Googling could be wrong, but the question I have is, I've just looked at it, that's maximum takeoff weight, which I presume is how you're going to work it off.
Correct,
is that right?
Senator.
And then we've got 737, that's got about maximum takeoff weight of about 80 kg. What's the charge for that? So didn't you say, you said 90 cents below 20 tonnes? What's the next
Senator.
bracket up?
So the next bracket starts to work on a square root, and this is an international convention, Senator.
Yeah.
So bear with me, if being
Okay.
slightly complicated.
I can do square roots.
So it's the square root of the tonnage once it's above 20 tonnes, but it's at a rate of $4.
So does that make it cheaper per cubit of weight than? I imagine it would.
It does as you get higher, yes, Senator.
Yeah. So, but what? So,
Which is the international convention.
what service do you provide that you need to recover this particular charge?
This is providing the air traffic services across the country.
And the freight has what to do with that? Just it's a mechanism.
So it's not an airport charge. It's flying through the airspace and getting the service from
No, I
us.
appreciate that, but what's the freight got to do with it?
Senator, the aircraft convention is using the maximum takeoff weight of the complete aircraft, regardless of how much freight's on board.
No, guys. At some stage, an airline has to do a return to you that said, look, I've got 20 tonne in the cargo on that trip. Or if they put the return in that they only had 18 tonne, they'll pay you less. 16 tonne, they'll pay you less again, and so on, right? I'm asking you, what charge, and I know your answer, you're going to tell me that money that's paid to you is meant to offset the cost of providing One Sky or whatever it is you're providing them to guide them from A to B, correct?
Senator, that's correct. We don't change the charge based on the actual weight of the aircraft. It's based on the maximum takeoff weight, which would include
but what has it got,
the maximum
what has it
freight
got
load.
to do with you guiding them through the air? Is it just you had to find a formula?
Yes, Senator.
Yeah, okay.
And it's an international convention, typically uses that formula for on-route
Yes,
services.
no, I appreciate that.
So you said it was about 20, for 20, up to 20 tonnes, 90 cent per kilometre, was that right?
Per 100 kilometres.
Or per 100 kilometres. So it's not, this is not a huge charge then?
It's not a huge charge.
Okay, so it's probably not significant in the big...
Cost you more to recover it, wouldn't it?
No,
But I mean, if they're short haul stuff, I mean, that's...
It's nothing.
If it's 200k,
Yeah, it's nothing.
you're going to get, what, $1.80?
Yeah, $1.80. So it's not significant. So what about the terminal? So can you provide the schedule of those?
Yes, Senator.
Just for the committee's benefit. And really, in some sense, this is related to the other inquiry that we're doing. The terminal charge, how does that work?
So that's based on the weight of the aircraft, again using the maximum takeoff weight as the standard, and there's a charge that's related to the particular location. So depending on where you're landing, if we have a tower service that's open, then there's a terminal navigation charge that's based on the weight of the aircraft.
And so what are those charges?
There's a schedule across the 20 odd locations that we're at, Senator.
Okay, and for each aircraft, does it get cheaper per tonne as the weight goes up?
No,
Senator. Just after an order of magnitude.
Straight tonnage.
So once again, flying to Whyalla, Whyalla doesn't have a tower. So do they have a charge at all?
No, Senator.
It's only where we provide an air traffic control service at that airport.
Okay, so if So just the Adelaide sector, they get charged.
On arrival into Adelaide.
Yeah, okay.
Yep.
And does it, so does Roma, for example, have a tower?
No, it
No,
does
sir.
not.
Tell me what your smallest community would be with a tower. Do you know?
So
Well,
like,
give me one.
Is it
Karratha?
possible- Is it
Albury-
possible to table that while we're...
Sorry?
Is it possible to table that?
sure, Senator.
Yeah.
Yes,
It's
so-
on our website, that schedule with all the charges.
Sure.
So just pick one, Mr. Harfield, anyone you like. You know,
Thank you.
Alice Springs,
Alice Springs. Yeah, probably not a good one.
Karratha,
Yeah, Karratha. Let's do Karratha. Your recovery out of Karratha would be significantly less than it would be out of a larger centre with more flights, correct?
correct.
Yeah. So, is it fair to say that the income is consolidated to cover the costs? So, for example, Karratha might not cover itself?
If you left it and we did a full cost recovery, the price would be higher
In
into
Karratha.
than currently is charged.
Yeah,
yes.
but perhaps less in other centres at the same principle.
Yes, Senator.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, so overall, when you stand back and have a helicopter look of the costs for this particular service versus the income, are we at line ball, or do you pick up a little bit for the Christmas ball or something?
So our regional centres are usually cross-subsidised by our capital cities.
No, I appreciate, but that's not the question, Mr. Harfield.
Because
Good
the fact
answer,
is,
but it's not the question.
the reason that they're cross-subsidised is that they're not... the revenue that we attract there with that cross-subsidise would be less than what it would be to run that facility.
Jason, I think the Chair's question is about, do you fully cost recover
Overall.
for the overall for the sort?
We
full
put a
suite of
passenger
services?
movement cost on the pretense that we're going to spend it on biosecurity some years ago.
Total enough to cover the
I don't want to mention any particular nationality or any food type down any piece of clothing apparel, but I did examine this once before. $1.2 billion is the income, and 780 million is what's spent on biosecurity. 787. So my question to you is, if you had no other business in life but to supply towers to these places and charge the airlines at the end of the year, what's the P&L look like? You got a bit left over, you got a bit of fat in there, or does it over and unders, or?
So in the totality, it's at an organisational level, and if I just work down to it, Senator, in the aggregate level, airways charges, which are the three that Mr. Harfield spoke to, equate to about 97% of our revenues and about 97% of our costs. So,
Okay.
including a cost of capital in there, which is generating a return on the assets as we're expecting.
That's great work. So there's three
there's
categories.
those three. So if we then break it down
Mr. Logan,
into-
if we're about to privatise it, I was going to give you one of them to operate free as a business for you. Which one would you pick? It'd be the one that recovers more than it costs, and I'm trying to get to a sense of that.
So it's been changing over the last year, so I don't have the exact numbers where we're at to, Senator, but en route was typically over-recovering.
Yep.
Terminal navigation was probably break even,
Yep.
and rescue and firefighting was probably slightly below break even.
Okay, so when you talk about over recovery, have you got a sense? Don't go down to specific numbers, but were you getting back $12 and it was costing 10, or?
So our revenue's generating 1.2 billion, Senator, and our net profit after tax last year was about 75 million. So
but again, Mr. Logan,
I'm trying to work.
again, let's just go steady
Yeah.
on the best one. Don't make me go door to door here.
On
How much of the $1.2 million was on the most profitable recovery action?
So about 500 million. Off the top
500
of my
million,
head,
and a
Senator.
cost outlay of?
Somewhere in the 400, Senator.
Okay, so there's possibly
not-
100, and I understand this. I'm not coming after you to try and
Yeah.
turn you into a communist nation, but there's about 100 million you pick up there, but then that subsidises other services, if you like, costs for services for the travelling public.
Probably closer to 50 off the top of my head, Senator.
Yeah. All right.
So